The following documentary explores sensitive historical events and chemical theories that may be unsettling to some viewers. The information presented is based on witness testimonies, declassified research, and independent investigation. Viewer discretion is advised.
The year is 1952, a time etched in the chilling gray of paranoia. The world held its breath, waiting for the sky to open, for the atomic bomb to drop. We taught ourselves to look up, scanning the heavens for the invisible enemy from distant lands. But in the forgotten, isolated folds of West Virginia, the real terror wasn't descending from the stars. It was rising from the very land we stood on, a quiet poison brewing in our own backyard. This is not just a monster story. This is a story of fallout, not from the void above, but from us, from our ambition, our recklessness, our darkest secrets. Braxton County, a place where time itself seemed to slow, where history whispered beneath the ancient Appalachian canopy. Life here was simple, predictable, until the night the predictability died. September 12th, 1952, a day that began with the innocent joy of childhood and ended with a terrifying ascent into the utterly unknown. A group of boys, their names now etched into the bedrock of American folklore, were about to discover that the silence of the countryside can be the most frightening sound of all. It was just after sundown, 7:15 p.m. The air still carried the last warmth of day, but the sky had turned to ink. Then it appeared. An impossible light, a brilliant, pulsating red orb, sizzling as it tore through the atmosphere before violently disappearing over a ridge near a local farm. It wasn't just a meteor. The light was controlled. It was searching. Curiosity, that fatal human instinct, proved irresistible. 7 souls, drawn like moths to a flame. Among them, a mother, Kathleen May, whose maternal instincts compelled her to protect her children from whatever cosmic horror had landed in their fields. As they cautiously approached the suspected crash site, the atmosphere itself began to change. The air grew heavy, thick with a nauseating metallic odor, like burning sulfur mixed with something utterly biologically wrong. The smell was paralyzing. It was the undeniable scent of a toxic wound in the earth. Their brave dog, a loyal hound, broke free, charging towards the ridge with desperate barks, only to return minutes later, its tail tucked, its body trembling uncontrollably, too terrified to even whimper. That's when they knew this was not a plane crash. This was an encounter with something malevolent. Their hearts pounded, a drumbeat against the suffocating silence. As they finally crested the hill, peering through the dense undergrowth, they saw the pulsating red light again. It wasn't the wreckage of a plane, it was an entity. And then, in the suffocating darkness, it moved. From the shadow of the great oak, something rose. Not sleek, not fast, but immense, standing over 10 feet tall, a hood shaped like the ace of spades concealing its features. But its face didn't matter. All that mattered were the eyes. Two giant red circles of light, pulsating with an alien malevolence. They didn't see an alien or a man. They saw a terrifying, metallic caricature of dread. They saw the monster, and the monster saw them. And the moment its terrifying gaze fell upon the children of Flatwoods, the physical sickness began. It was then that the fear truly took root.
The children saw a monster. The media screamed alien. But for us, the mystery lies not in the stars, but in the soil and the secretive air of 1950s America. The official explanation, a barn owl, was a dismissal, a cheap lie designed to soothe the public. But why the rush to dismiss? To find the true reason, we must turn our focus away from the mythical creature and towards the terrifying truth of the very land they stood on. Flatwoods was not a random location. It sat in the shadow of American industrial ambition. Witnesses were uniform on one terrifying detail, the pervasive, horrible smell. It clung to the trees, it clung to their clothes, described not merely as sulfur, but as metallic, acrid, and choking. The official narrative fails here. An owl does not leave behind a cloud of toxic fumes. These symptoms align perfectly with exposure to volatile chemical agents. We are talking about the byproducts of the era: heavy mineral processing, industrial runoff, and secretive defense testing. West Virginia in the 1950s was a chemical cauldron. So the question isn't what fuel did the monster use, but what deadly toxins were routinely dumped into the ecology of Braxton County. Our investigation leads us to the heart of the Cold War. This region was a hub for secretive projects, radar stations, long-range tracking facilities, and hidden government laboratories focused on unconventional warfare. What if the pulsating red light was not an alien ship, but a prototype military drone, designed not for attack, but for biological testing or experimental atmospheric dispersal? Imagine a device programmed to release a potent chemical agent, a dense, highly reflective fog designed to camouflage military movements or test troop endurance. What if, on September 12, 1952, that device malfunctioned? Look closely at the creature's description once more. Over 10 feet tall, a metallic body, a head shaped like a hood. It doesn't look alien. It looks like a terrifying, distorted version of protective military gear. The intense light, the sizzling noise, the paralyzing dread, all are side effects of thermal or chemical defense mechanisms. The figure could have been a pilot or a handler wearing an experimental containment suit, trying desperately to control a catastrophic release. The government's rapid, aggressive dismissal of the event, their insistence on the owl theory, was not about protecting humanity from invaders. It was about concealing the far more dangerous truth that the United States government knew exactly what kind of toxic experiment had failed in their backyard. The children were silenced. The evidence was erased, because the fear of an alien is fleeting, but the fear of your own government poisoning your land and your children, that fear is permanent.